And I want to start off with saying things are not always as they appear.
So easy to live here, and it's so peaceful.
The two were interviewed after Habitat for Humanity built them a handicapped accessible home because of Gypsy's disabilities. They said she was confined to a wheelchair.
We have an awesome bathtub. It's a jacuzzi tub meant for my muscles. And we have a wonderful ramp.
Authorities say the two were lying. You can see Gypsy for yourself walking into court. Now, along with the investigation into Dee Dee's murder, authorities are also looking into what appears to be a financial scheme.
That is exactly what it looked like, is a financial scheme. Let's look into some old pictures and videos of Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose.
Where are you going today?
I'm going to Children's Mercy Hospital to see my dentist for my teeth.
Full of enthusiasm and effervescence, but behind the smiles, life for Gypsy Blanchard and her mother Dee Dee is one replete with hardships and challenges. Gypsy is in a wheelchair.
She learned how to manipulate, cheat, and deceive people into getting exactly what she wants. Okay, it was her mother, but what has she turned into right now?
Darlings. I mean, they were the shining star in this town of people who can outlast adversity and get through everything.
The mother-daughter duo are local celebrities, the subject of countless local news profiles and articles.
Exactly that. Don't forget that she has been a celebrity for a very long time, and that is what she knows best. She knows what to say, how to say it, even her voice tone changes on her command.
Gypsy and her multiple illnesses and diseases, leukemia, muscular dystrophy. She had learning disabilities, had not been able to be out of a wheelchair since she was 5 years old. And so the community really embraced them.
Did you hear that? The community really embraced them. Everybody knew who they were. Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose.
She's originally from Louisiana, a one-time beauty queen.
Military queen.
And nurse's aide. She marries Rod Blanchard at age 24. Together, the couple welcomes a beautiful baby girl.
Perfectly healthy, pretty little baby. Named her Gypsy Rose. I was excited and very scared.
This is her when she was very small, and you can hear her mother in the background. As far as I can tell, she has very much loved her. She did not physically abuse her, did not beat her. And she was very well fed. I don't know why her mother deserved that.
Ooh, look at that! Very pretty.
Gypsy Blanchard always listened when her mother told her to do something.
How old are you? You're 1. I love you.
Gypsy lived her life by the phrase, "Mother knows best."
Gypsy was born perfectly healthy.
Like he said, Gypsy Rose was born perfectly healthy, and now we can watch her performance at a charity where she sang a song.
I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hour.
Sentence for the role she played in her mother Dee Dee Blanchard's death. Nicholas Godejohn, her former boyfriend, was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole earlier this year.
They were from Louisiana and had lost everything in Hurricane Katrina.
And no shoes. Truthfully.
And to make matters worse, Gypsy, who at the time claimed to be 14 years old, also reportedly suffered from multiple medical issues. Dee Dee and Gypsy were on their way to Kansas City on an Angel flight from Springfield to be seen by doctors at Children's Mercy.
She herself later said that she knew that it was a fraud and that she was participating in it, but she thought that what her mother said about leukemia, that was true. And she basically continued in the facade.
Huge blessing in our life. I all the time say between Angel Flight, the Hope Lodge, and Children's Mercy, they saved my baby's life.
Gypsy Rose appeared sweet and childlike.
People, including myself, have so many opinions about Gypsy, but we cannot deny the fact that she was abused herself and that no child deserves to go through this. And if you really look closely at her face, you can see that she is suffering from within.
Kindness of their hearts is amazing.
But Sheriff Jim Arnott from Greene County, Missouri says everything people thought they knew about Gypsy and Dee Dee may have been a lie. He says Gypsy doesn't even need the wheelchair she's always seen in. She walks just fine. She gets her head shaved in solidarity with Gypsy and to raise money for cancer research.
Next is a clip where Dee Dee will shave her head together with Gypsy. It is, of course, to show support for her due to her conditions. And I guess it is also a bit for attention as well, that she is such a good mother.
The organization wouldn't comment on their time at the Hope Lodge. Children's Mercy also wouldn't comment for privacy reasons. But in an article, a doctor describes the two as positive and supportive.
It's Mayberry. We're moving to Mayberry.
Here's a clip where you can see them receiving that free home after Hurricane Katrina that they lived in together. And that was the exact last place that Dee Dee has lived in until her unfortunate end.
It didn't take a lot to convince Dee Dee and her daughter Gypsy Rose to make a new home in Aurora. They already knew it was meant to be.
It is the perfect town, the perfect place.
I think it was a blessing in disguise. It took something like a hurricane to make us have a happy ending.
Dee Dee was happy enough just having medical care for Gypsy. She says she never expected this.
It's amazing. It's amazing, the outpouring of love and support.
Dr. Janet Jordan met Dee Dee and Gypsy while on a mission trip to the hurricane-ravaged areas. She says she knew right away she'd see them again.
They're like lost souls who were meant to have been born and raised in Aurora.
After arranging a helicopter ride from Louisiana to St. John's Hospital, the process began to find them a permanent home. It turns out St. John's already owned this house, and with the help of local donations, it was turned into a home.
I think that's just kind of what we're all about. You know, we're all about doing what we can to help people that are in bad situations.
This is all in real time at the time, and you can see that it's very sad that these people have been lied to, and out of the kindness of their heart, they were willing to help them. But of course they both knew, so it's not only Dee Dee that knew, it's Gypsy also, that they were participating in a big fraud. Was it Munchausen by proxy, or was it a financial fraud? Leave your comments.
It's beautiful, and it's happy, and it's full of love.
Here we can see Gypsy again, knowing exactly how to play her part in being that sad little girl that people will feel sorry for, and that will in the end get them exactly what they wanted. Or is it her mother, what she wanted?
Gypsy and Dee Dee say they're blessed. Dr. Jordan says they deserve to be.
It was pretty devastating down there, it really was. And they never ever lost hope. I think they brought hope to everybody else that was down there.
This is home to us. We have been wandering for so long, and this is finally our home. So it's so good to be here.
This is Kara Rostelli reporting for KY3's Ozarks Today.
That she said she was taking with her grandfather, that her grandfather took with her, those also happened with her mother?
Again, another mention of how she abused her and basically invaded her privacy.
This is one of the more harsh details that you have to read, but obviously this is someone's story and she wants to share it all. It wasn't just her mother, but also her grandfather, and one time all three of them in the bath. It wasn't until she actually went to prison that she realized that it's not a very normal thing for adult women to actually do with each other. And so it's something that she's coming to grips with, the reality of her past and what's actually normal for an everyday person. But then on top of that, really excruciating details about getting clean in the bath with her mother. One detail I'll share with you is that her mother actually shaved her private parts down there. It was all about, in her mother's eyes, getting clean. She saw her daughter as a dirty girl, and so shaving her was a way to get her clean. And that's really a theme that you see throughout this entire book. How does one get clean? Not just in the sense of literally bathing, but also the dirtiness that she feels post.
I only see it as a fall from grace. I thought back then that I was a good person, and now I just see it as it was a fall.
Back then she thought she was a good person because her mother indoctrinated her mind into believing that what she's doing is good, and every time that she participated in a fraud, she gets another hug, another kiss, all that stuff. So of course, but deep down she knew it was a fraud and it was a scheme because that's what she said herself. So it is basically learned behavior of telling lies and changing the narrative.
And I made a horrible mistake.
Calling it a horrible mistake is a very light way of saying it. And if you ask me, there are people who have been through way, way worse abuse than her and don't come to that.
My mom had gave me this little glass house and she said, one day this will be real. And now it finally is.
That's Gypsy 7 years ago, clutching her mother Dee Dee's hand, the woman she's now accused of asking her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, to stab to death.
It's so easy to live here, and it's so peaceful.
The two were interviewed after Habitat for Humanity built them a handicapped accessible home because of Gypsy's disabilities. They said she was confined to a wheelchair.
We have an awesome bathtub. It's a jacuzzi tub meant for my muscles. And we have a wonderful ramp.
And I want to start off with saying things are not always as they appear.
Authorities say the two were lying. You can see Gypsy for yourself walking into court. Now, along with the investigation into Dee Dee's murder, authorities are also looking into what appears to be a financial scheme.
This is a tragic, tragic event surrounded by mystery and public deception.
Alleging Gypsy and her mother lied about Gypsy's health to get money and attention.
It just proves that happy endings are not just in fairy tales, they're real and true in real life also.